I brought up the digital medium because that's really so important in terms of how young photographers get trained and that they learn some of the base rules of this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is acceptable.
Can you express some of them, please?
Well, I think it's quite elaborate, and I think there's books written on it all over the place. So I can't say this is the top 10 rules, but okay. I think quite a bit of it is like I say, takes. If someone is just starting out in photography and they're not going to take any classes and they're self-taught, again, at least on the web, they can very easily start to educate themselves. So I don't think you have to go to a workshop or you have to, obviously it's best to do so, but some people can't afford that. Some people don't, some people have full-time jobs and are just doing photography on the side or whatever. But I think at least there's a way now to learn more about the ethics of photography. And so to come back to this, there's the ethics of photojournalism, the ethics of photography. So again, are we just focusing on the ethics of photojournalism here? The ethics of photojournalism is more knowing and being true to your subject and not manipulating the situation and not, obviously not setting up photos because it's convenient and easier than actually waiting for the moment to happen. These are things that are not taught, so photographers in different parts of the world have to learn it. And unless they're working for an organization that adheres to these very strict guidelines, sometimes for them it might be, well, I want to get this great photograph that I saw in this magazine or whatever. I can just set it up and get it. I'm just saying this is a very long and involved topic, but on the most basic levels here, we're talking about ethics in photojournalism. I think it's very specific to how we all have to be responsible in how we document and what not just what we document, but basically how and why and what's the motive and being truthful to ourselves is, you're in a refugee camp, you're photographing inside of a hospital. I just recently had a very difficult time getting into a field hospital inside a refugee camp in South Sudan, and I found out very quickly why. It's because the media that had come before me, it seemed that they were mostly, it was a very, very high infant mortality rate because of diarrhea, because of malaria. And it was the feeling of the doctors when the media left that they were just chasing after dead babies. They were waiting for kids to die. They were going after the most sensational and dramatic moment. But again, it's when I came into that hospital, I could barely get any access because unfortunately the media before me had broken the trust of the medical professionals working inside that hospital. I had to rebuild that trust, and it took a bit of doing. And it was mostly that they could watch what I was doing, how I was doing it, and my approach to the patients. That I wasn't, obviously the best pictures might be, if someone's coming that works for a television channel wants to get that emotive moment of a mother crying over her child's, body, but that's not. You have to be extremely sensitive to your subjects, and then you can imagine as a doctor, knowing that that's what the media is going after makes us feel like then they think we're vultures. They think we're just going in to grab, to grab it. Unfortunately, if you look at what's on TV, if you look at the news on a daily basis, headline after headline is going to be, so many died in this accident, so many died here, so many died here. If it bleeds, it leads. I mean, that's something that I know from newspapers many, many years back. That has not changed. The more deaths, the more suffering, it gets higher in the headlines. So sometimes, I guess, media are going after that, right?